Welcome back to another episode of The Hobby Never Sleeps. Connor, we have a special guest. Honestly, this is an awesome. I'm really excited.
You have no idea.
As two Syracuse fans, this player is, I'd say, someone we grew up with when we first got into college basketball. At least for me,
my favorite player.
I started being a fan around 2006, and my dad started taking me, and that's about when Sir Eric Devendorf came in. Joined the Orange. Dude, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. I appreciate you guys having me. It's an honor, man.
Of course.
How's everything been with you?
Oh, I can't complain. You know what? I just had a son.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yep.
That's awesome. 3 months to the beginning of this month in November.
Oh, so you must be tired.
Man, so 17, I got 2 girls, 17, 15, and then I made the smart decision to have another one. So it's all good, though.
While they're leaving the nest.
Yeah,
right?
well, I got my boy now, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, everything's good, and he's healthy, growing fast, and I got the broadcasting going on.
Yep.
Right. I just called the Syracuse game last night versus Binghamton.
Nice.
And then I run a nonprofit that I've had for the last 3 years. We actually got a turkey drive in Syracuse, the 22nd of this month. Mm-hmm. We hand out 500 turkey dinners to the community of Syracuse. So yeah, we do a bunch of different charity events. We have golf events and women's events and back to school drives, stuff like that. So staying busy, man. I do podcasts. I have me and Atan.
Yep.
Thomas, who used to play for Cuse.
Yeah,
we have a podcast together.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. So branching out, doing some different things, but all stuff that I enjoy doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's talk about the broadcasting because you jumped in about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, probably
with Syracuse. How has that been? Is it the next best thing to not being actually on the court?
You know what? It really is, and I'm undefeated. Right, so you can't lose any game, right? And really, this is probably my, I want to say, second. Maybe I've been doing it for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Right. It's funny how it started because it was just me doing a podcast, talking about ball, different things. It wasn't just, Cuse. And then they asked me to do local radio for Galaxy, doing the pregame, postgame stuff. And then it ended up going to radio for the games for the university. And then I got a chance to do the TV for the games. And it just so happened Corey Alexander, who his flight got canceled one game, it was an ESPN 2 game. They called me probably 10 o'clock at night. I'm at my daughter's track meet.
Right.
It was like, hey, so-and-so, got cancer, can't make it. Can you do the game tomorrow at noon? Like, all right, well, who's playing? You know what I'm saying? It's, Syracuse versus Miami.
Oh,
so I knew, I know Cuse like the back of my hand.
Right.
It's not a big
easy
deal. But then, when I got home, you got to say yes in this industry with the media. You can't say no because
don't want to miss out on.
Well, they're not going to call you again.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't always come knocking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Prepared or not, I'm gonna get prepared for that. The 20 hours I had or whatever it was. So went back home, did my little due diligence on Miami. Had to know what I was talking about, who I was talking about. Went out there, did it with Kevin Brown, who's the play-by-play for the Orioles. And another Syracuse grad.
Yep.
Had a blast, man. Had a really fun time doing it. And then ever since then, it's kind of, I've gotten a little bit more opportunities to do games outside of Syracuse. Last year was my first year that I was really I did probably 25 games. 15 was through ESPN, and then the other 10 were through the university. But I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it is kind of the second best thing to being out there playing. You get to go a few days before, talk to the coaches, kind of get the scouting report on what's going on. And then, it's some stuff you have to know going in, right? Like how the mics are, what they're saying in your ear, the producers, what the story they want to tell. You got to but once you get that stuff done, you're talking ball. I get to break down the game. I get to, talk about what I see, what they could do better. And more reps you get, the more comfortable you are doing it. So, yeah, I'm lucky, man. Pretty grateful.
Is it pretty much everything you expected?
I mean, I didn't know what to expect because I never did it. It wasn't like I was literally just played basketball my whole life. I didn't have a job. I didn't, sometimes you do McDonald's or whatever growing up. I never had a job. I was just straight ball, all year long. It was like high school, then you go right into summer ball, and then camps, whatever it was. I didn't have a regular job. This was something that I was a communications major going to Syracuse, but my major was playing basketball.
Right.
that was my major, you know what I mean? But it just so happened, I guess it came in handy,
right.
being able to, speak on camera, speak in front of people. So that helped me in preparing me for this. But I didn't have any expectations. But now just, throwing myself into it. With anything, you got to throw yourself into the fire and kind of learn as you go. Yep. Because, again, we talked about the opportunity might not – the window is it's a small window with things. You know what I mean? So when the opportunity knocks, take advantage of it and, either works out or it doesn't. So that's kind of the stage we're in right now. We're just learning and we're continuing to get reps and get more comfortable with it.
I do also want to bring up is you had a stint at Detroit Mercy.
Yeah.
Coaching. Has that been something ever in the back of your mind of getting back into coaching?
Love
and what
coaching.
Also did that experience give to you that one you can take to color commentary, but also whatever comes in your future?
Well, because I know what the coaches are looking at too. I know the coach's perspective. I played, so I know the player's perspective. So I kind of know both. What they're looking for from the players, what the players are looking for, right? But coaching I love to do that. Yeah. I have my own basketball programs I run back in Syracuse and throughout the region. I do individual workouts, so I love teaching kids. I love ball. First of all, that's my passion. That's what I've been doing it since I was 7 years old. Every single day, rain, sleet, or snow, waking up before school. I sacrificed a lot as a kid to be able to get to Syracuse and play pro ball for a while. With anything that you want to be great at, a lot of sacrifices involved. So I love teaching. I love giving back. And coaching it goes with what I really enjoy doing. So if an opportunity comes about where I could get back in that coaching scene, definitely take a look into it. But it has to be the right fit. Because great experience at Detroit Mercy, nothing there. It just wasn't the right fit. Yep. You get with coaches who are looking, they have a different vision and they teach differently or whatever, And it's nothing against them, but just wasn't the right fit. I came back home. That's when, I started doing my ED2-3 hoops, which is the camps, clinic, individual instruction. And then it also allowed me to launch my nonprofit, which we've had for 3 years, the ED2-3 Foundation. So nothing like being able to kind of do your own thing and kind of navigate how you want to navigate, being your own boss. And then it's about surrounding yourself with good people and people who have that kind of same vision and like-mindedness to, support the vision and kind of, continue to make it grow and build it. So that's where we're at right now. But yes, I love coaching, and it definitely has helped me in the broadcasting space to be able to, break it down, talk, and analyze, from a coach's and player's perspective. Mm-hmm.
I do want to go back because I always like to ask this question. With college sports changing every day and NIL being bigger, the transfer portal being there, if you were to look back when you were making that decision, do you think it would have been any different? I know hindsight's 2020, but do you think you would have been affected by that noise, or would it have always been Syracuse, do you think?
Oh, if we had definitely had some conversations. That's just the space we're in now, right? Yeah. And and you think about some of these kids are getting paid,
millions,
$2, $3, $4 million. I mean, the kid at BYU got $7 million from BYU, and that's not even counting the outside. Red Bull and all those. He's getting $11 million this year. Right. He's a pro. There's nothing college about this anymore. Right. So, and I think rightfully so. I mean, the NCAA has made billions and billions of dollars. For sure. And these guys are the product. They're the ones who are bringing in the money. In reality, right? So they deserve to get paid. It's the Wild West right now. It's a lot. It's there's no rules. And hopefully it gets regulated a little bit more with contracts. And you want to do salary caps and players union. You might as well. It's a pro game now. That's what they do in professionals. But yeah, if they had it back when I was playing, we're using that as leverage, dude. I was a McDonald's All-American, so I was top 25 in the country. So right away, my price tag is all right, we probably 800 and up,
Well, that was my first thought is not only you, but take that 09 team. That would have been a really expensive team, right?
Well, think about Johnny Flynn, Paul Harris. I mean, Andy Browns, Lorenzo Anawa. Yeah, I don't know if you saw Kentucky's their budget for this NIL this year. It's $28 million.
I couldn't imagine.
We'd have been up there.
You know what
I'm saying? You'd have
100%.
And Coach Boeheim would have made it happen. But I think those type of guys too, those old school coaches, they're not fans of it because it's not what they grew up on.
Yep.
Well, you see a lot of that, especially in college football with Nick Saban. leaving and like all of these older coaches like taking a step back. I think it's just so new, you know. So I wonder like what would happen I wonder what Boeheim, how he would have handled that type of situation with having to pay the players, because I know I'm sure it's awkward in some situations because they haven't been put in that situation. So I don't know.
These guys are getting paid more than the assistant coaches,
right?
You know, so it takes away a lot of their power and control that they normally would have, right? And then you're bringing in agents, you're bringing in all these outside guys who are, you know, they could manipulate a lot. You know, it's just a different space now,
right?
You know, and I don't think they necessarily, you know, like losing that power
for sure.
Much. I mean, think about it. A guy like Nick Saban. I mean, he's one of the most powerful guys in all time in college football, in sports, period. Right. I mean, let alone college football, right? So I think it's different for them, and they can't navigate the way they're used to navigating. But like now, that's why you know, insert these younger guys.
Yep.
John Shire, you know, Ja Lucas going to Miami. Like these younger coaches are okay with it because they were there with it, so to speak, right? So now it's just about, like anything, man. You got to pivot. You got to adjust. Who's got the money? we gotta connect with these guys, and the marketing, the brand building. It's a whole thing now.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how the NIL looks this year for Syracuse, but they were able to bring in, I think, 6 or 7 transfer players.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
And, I mean, you brought in William Kyle, Nate Kings, Tyler Betsy, Nathan George,
big time.
Who I think
big fan.
I think Syracuse fans are going to fall in love with this kid because I think he's elite.
Had a great game last night. So
great game.
I called probably 4 Georgia Tech games last year, so I got to see a lot of them.
He's good.
Soiree too, coming from Georgia Tech, just kind of like they're bringing in pieces, things that they need. Versatile forwards who could run, you know,
they needed that.
Switch on the pick and rolls, be able to, you know, get out and then get back and get the rebound or protect the rim. They have all these guys. I mean, if you watch any of the game yesterday, defensively is what won them the game. They didn't shoot the ball well. They were able to get turnover. That'll come. Like the constants have to be like the energy, the effort, and the enthusiasm. Like that especially on the defensive side. With all those athletes, there's no reason you guys shouldn't be a you know, top defensive team, flying around, blocking shots, you know, keeping guys in front. They did a great job of that yesterday, and a lot of that defense led to offense.
Right.
You know, they had 15 dunks yesterday.
That's huge.
William Kyle had 7 alley-oops himself. You know, so like back to the old Cuse, like we were talking about when you guys were growing up watching, getting out in transition, like
just
highlight
fast pace,
fast pace, and it is quick decision making. But it's easier basketball if you can make those quick decisions. You don't always want to come and play against a set defense in the half court. Right. It's hard to do that. You know, can you? Yeah, but you want to limit those times where you have to. You know, that's, you know, simplify the game.
I think it's a really exciting Syracuse team this year. I mean, I think Syracuse people know Donnie Freeman, but does the outside world not as much? He's a player that I think when healthy is a first-round draft pick. Yeah. Maybe top 15 lottery.
I mean, he's in the discussion. Yeah. I mean, first round, no doubt. I think one thing, you don't want him to fall in love with the perimeter game, right? He's still developing that. He's capable of knocking down the three-point shot, but you don't want him to fall in love with it. Like, because at his position, if you can work the mid-post in that inside area, he's already faster and more athletic than most of those guys guarding him at that position, right? So work your way inside, kill it there, get free throws opportunities, like collapse that defense. Now you can start kicking it out and getting other guys involved.
And they have the guys to do that.
And he, exactly. And then you'll get like transition threes where you're trailing or going to a pick and pop because he could be at the 5 as well. And if he's at the 5, that's big-time mismatch because who's guarding him? You know, at the 5 position, he's bringing them all the way out right from the rim.
Great defensive player, too. I mean, he had 20 points and 6 rebounds last night. If you can get that out of him every night and let George get 15 points a game, maybe Kyle 16 points a game, and then JJ Starling, who left the game early last night,
was hurt.
He's a 20-plus point per game scorer. You got a team that could put up maybe 80 points a game on you, and then if you're playing great defense, could be a Syracuse team that could make a run.
And they got depth, but not only they got depth, they have good depth. Like depth where you could just, all right, you're not really losing much when this guy comes out, you know? So they got good guys, and they got guys who could do a lot of different things on the floor. They're versatile, athletic, like a lot of interchangeable guys out there. Now you just got to put them in position where they can have success. And the biggest thing is those guys compete in the whole 40 minutes.
Right.
You know, they'll beat a lot of those teams just by playing super hard.
Right.
Binghamton's they're not good. You know what I mean?
They're just not the caliber.
Yeah, they're not. And then 4 of their top players, 2 starters and 2 bench guys they didn't play.
Yeah.
So they're already, shorthanded.
Yep.
But I mean, again, when you step out on the floor, we can't help if you're hurt or not.
Right.
We go out there, they took care of business, they won by 40.
Exactly.
They did what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
Now Kansas, Houston, Tennessee, you better make some shots.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a whole different story. So keep the defense how you played, but now offensively,
pick it up.
You got to be a little bit more crisp. Yeah.
And in that whole conversation, we didn't even talk about the new guy on campus, Kiyan Anthony.
Yeah. Oh,
I
man.
mean, talk about listen, everybody loves Eric Devendorf, but Carmelo Anthony, like
no doubt. I appreciate you too. Yeah. No, Melo's in a whole different, you know what I mean? He's a whole different
to bring in
world of his own.
son is a full circle moment. Do you think it was always Cuse? I like to believe it was always Cuse for him.
Yeah, I think, Pop's kind of put that in his brain from an early age, right? Like you're going to continue the legacy. And, I mean, what an awesome kid. Besides basketball, just a good kid, humble kid. I mean, to be around all those people he's been around since day one, it's tough. You know what I mean? You could come in and just be,
think you're better.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's a good kid. He's coming in. He's trying to fit in, but 6'7" forward, super talented, 3-level scorer. Could do it, from long range, mid range, you get all the way to the rack. He showed it all off yesterday. And you know what? He's just a kid who knows how to score the ball, and great scorers find those little ways where it's like pump fake, getting you up in the air. They know how to use their body to create space. You don't need to drop a guy on the floor. They just need that much of space so they can get their shot off. He already has that in his game.
Yep.
Right.
Obviously, his dad's taught him well. But he had that on display last night. And again, Binghamton's not going to be the best team by any means that they play, but he's a kid that the more he plays, the better he's going to get.
Right.
He's going to learn, his spots on the floor, where to get to, where, what shots to take, all that. And it was exciting to see him, have a first good game in his freshman year.
Yeah.
What would be your best advice for him coming into Syracuse, playing in front of so many fans, playing in the Carrier Dome or JMC Dome, I guess now?
Yeah.
What would be your best advice for him?
It's always the Carrier Dome.
It always
Yeah, I was going to say.
JMA Wireless Dome is too long now, but the Carrier Dome, I just call it the Dome. We go to the
we all
Dome,
call it
all
the
right, bet,
Dome.
we're meeting at the Dome.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, my advice for him is just stay locked in on what matters. And that's right now is just the season, your team. Yeah. It's going to be so much more outside noise with the social media. And I mean, go back to when I played, it was social media, but we just got Facebook.
Right.
You know what I mean? My freshman year.
Like that.
You know what I'm saying? We just got Facebook. So I'm like, I remember all the pokes and everything was getting me. Like, we played Villanova, I had 112 pokes. Like, what's going on, dude? You know what I'm saying? From Facebook. But I mean, just stay locked in on what matters. You know what I mean? And that's the season, that's your teammates, that's your coaches. All the media, the endorsements, those are all distractions.
Yeah.
What matters the most, just focus on that. And he has good people in his corner. I mean, Melo's going to have the right people around him, and he needs to. I mean, because he's a lightning rod.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just wherever he goes, he has a bodyguard with him. You know what I mean? So it's and rightfully so.
Right.
I guess, you never know nowadays what people were trying to do. So
For sure.
Just stay locked in and focus on what matters. And, I think he'll take care of his business.
Mm-hmm. We'll kind of take it back to your years at Syracuse. Do you feel like you got everything out of your tenure there? Is there anything that, I mean, obviously a national championship.
Right.
But do you feel like everything you set to do there, you accomplish?
I think for where I was at with my mindset, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously now I'm in a totally different mindset. Right. I was there 3 years. Where I was there 4, but I had a redshirt year, so I still had another year to play. Right. And I scored 1,700 points. So, and I always talk about this all the time with people. If I would have stayed that 1 year, I would have had to average probably 17 points to be the all-time leading scorer at the school, because it's 23. It's 2,333. It's Lord, I'm 15th or 14th.
Yep,
or something.
14th. Yep, 14th.
Yeah, something like that. So that year, I always think about it. Okay, 600 points. That's doable.
That's definitely.
That's
doable.
definitely
And we were a
doable.
good team. We were going to continue to play into
Right.
the tournament, deep into the tournament. So that year after I left, they were number 1 for a while.
Yes. Yep.
You know, and then injuries happened, and I think AO got hurt in the Big East tournament, and you know, they didn't end up going too much further. But you know what, where I was at and how I was at that stage, man, immature, like just a kid running around loving to hoop, you know, with a chip on his shoulder. Yes, I did get out. But if I was in my mindset that I am in now, I would have definitely approached things differently. Right. But that's life. We're never going to be like that. There's stages, like, you know what I mean, that you go through to get to where you are right now. So everything that I went through then made me to where I am right now. Right. So I can't. It's no regrets.
Yeah,
you know, you can't. It's just, it's the evolution. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Now I do kind of want to backtrack just a little further, which I didn't know. Just found this out today.
Yeah.
At Oak Hill Academy, played with Kevin Durant, Ty Lawson.
Yes.
Talk about a lineup.
Well, yeah, what is Jesus?
Yeah,
what was that like?
We had 9. No, everyone was D1 on the team.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So the funny story is when I first got there, my parents, they took me, they dropped me off. I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
So we drove from Michigan, which had to be 10, 12-hour drive, up the, you know, Appalachian Mountains. Mm-hmm. When I say in the middle of nowhere, it's in the middle of nowhere. I just went back this summer and did a camp there.
Really?
And now when you go back, you're like, dude, I live here now. No one's out here. I just got my, you know what I mean? Peace and quiet. It's on like 250 acres. Man. Unbelievable. Back then, you're like, where am I?
Right.
I'm waking up and there's like 5 cows outside of my window. You know what I'm saying? But man, that team was unbelievable. I remember, so when I got there, my parents dropped me off. I go into the gym and I see this kid, you know, 6'11", but he's dribbling and shooting like me.
Just a monster.
And, you know, back then it was big men were big men.
Right.
They were probably, you know, probably just started to get to where bigger guys were starting to go away from the rim and handle a little bit more. But this guy was like in a league of his own. Yeah. You know, it ended up being KD. You know what I mean? I was like, my dad, like, who? This kid is 6'11" doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, as we go throughout the year, he was the kid that was always in the gym. I remember playing 2-on-2 all the time, 1-on-1. We just shooting. Like he just loved the game. You know what I mean? And then you speak on Ty Lawson and Casey Rivers, Jamont Gordon. All those guys end up having long professional careers, whether it be NBA or overseas. And then you guys know Steve Smith. You know, he just recently retired from there, but Hall of Fame coach. You go into Oak Hill and you look in the gym, and they got all the All-Americans.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I was lucky enough to have my name up there. But then you see like Melo, Rod Strickland, Ron Mercer, Steven Jackson, Jerry Stackhouse. Like, you know, the list goes on and on. Josh Smith, Rajon Rondo. Unbelievable. You know, the gym holds 200 people.
Well,
you know?
Given Melo went to Oak Hill, did that have any play on your decision to go to Syracuse? Did he ever talk to you leading up to that?
No, because so my sophomore year I was committed to Michigan State.
Okay.
And the reason I flipped my commitment was the national championship year. I went to the game, Michigan State, where they played Syracuse in the Breslin Center. I was committed. So this is the first time me seeing Melo and GMAC and Hack and all them getting up and down. And I was with my AAU coach at the time, and I'm like, man, I love how they play. Up and down, like it's, you know, fast paced, quick decision making. You know, Michigan State was more half court, like
slow pace.
But you know, if you're from Michigan, you're the best player in the state. You stay home. That's just what it was. You know what I mean? But I remember telling my coach, I'm like, man, I want to see what's up with these guys. So I called Coach Izzo and had to tell him, like, you know, I'm reopening my commitment. He actually told me it was the worst decision I was ever going to make in my life. I was 16. I was like, damn, I got a lot of shit worse. A lot more to go wrong, dude.
Maybe I don't.
You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, and then the week later, Coach Boeheim and at the time Troy Weaver, they flew down to Detroit where we had practice and offered me a scholarship on the spot, and that was it. You know, I took it right there, man.
It's too cool.
Yeah. So if I wouldn't have went to that game, I wouldn't, because we didn't have Cuse in Michigan. It wasn't really. I was Michigan State. That's what I was. I wasn't watching college basketball a lot. I was outside playing.
Right. You were focused on yours.
Yeah,
on your path.
absolutely.
Yeah,
and
fair.
And I was just, you know, you'd go up and visit like the campuses of Michigan because it was close.
Right.
You know, I'd play open gym with the guys, all that. But when I saw the Cuse and you know, the style of play and all that, I fell in love immediately.
So would you say, like, through your recruiting process, like those were the two main schools where you were mainly focused on, or were there any other schools that were kind of thrown in the mix?
I was going to go to Florida.
That would have been
sweet. And I'd had 2 national championships. I was like, damn, because it was like that team was Joakim, Corey Brewer, and then so Lee Humphrey was the 2 starter. I would have been the starting 2.
Damn.
Yeah, but one of the coaches who I really loved, he ended up leaving.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
so that was, man, everything happens for a reason. Though,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I was take the visit down there. They had the jersey in the locker room.
Yeah.
85 out. It's great.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. So my top 5 was Michigan State, Syracuse, Louisville, North Carolina, and Florida.
That's some good coaches.
Yeah.
A lot of good
Really
coaches.
good
Are you kidding
coaches.
me?
So those were my 5.
Yep.
Yep. Those were my 5, and then
That's
I
awesome.
ended up going to Cuse. So everything happens for a reason, man.
Of course.
Yep.
I wanted to ask too, as you bring up KD, was he the toughest player you've ever guarded? Or
I mean, he's an impossible guard.
Yeah.
You know
I was
what
gonna say, he's 6'11".
He's 6'11". He can shoot over top. He can handle the ball. I mean, he's a guard in a 7-foot body. You know what I mean? And now obviously it's not as it's everyone's like that. It seems like now, right? But not like to KD's level.
Right.
KD's different. Even now.
Oh, I agree.
Whatever
100%.
year he's in now, he's 37.
Yep.
I think KD's 37. And he's doing it like. Yeah, I mean, like
He's young.
from year one. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
How long were you at Oak Hill for?
Just a year.
Just a year?
Just
Senior
a year.
year?
I could only take one. 1 year was like, dude, if you go out there, you're like, man, it's crazy. It was the craziest, but I needed it.
Right.
It really prepared me for Syracuse before Syracuse.
For sure.
It's a college atmosphere. It's a college, how everything is ran.
Yep.
So it gave me a head start.
yeah,
It's awesome.
I'm sure this is the number one thing people want to talk with you about, and obviously it's the number one thing I want to talk about. I'm sure Connor too.
Oh, 100%.
We got to talk about 6 overtimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
We have
every
to
day
talk
I hear
about
about
6.
it.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I love it though.
I'm sure.
I
Where do we even? I don't even know where we begin with
Would
that.
you say like that was obviously it's the most talked about game? Would you say that's like your favorite and most memorable game that you've played in? Yeah,
Has to.
it has to be, right?
Yeah, I can't. If I said something else, it'd be dumb. Of me.
Right, fair,
You know what I mean? But just I mean, immediate. I remember going in after the game, and it was like ESPN Classic right away.
Oh, yeah.
like
Yep.
man, we just played. You know what I mean? But immediate, like instant classic, one of those. So we stayed up and watched the game again. You know, I think I ended up getting back probably 3:30 in the morning. I remember going to a diner, and me and Arenze Anawaku at the time was my roommate, and we go in the diner and they started clapping, all 4 people.
Really?
You know what I mean? 4 people in there who was just still up, but we were just literally getting out of the locker room in the
That's
talk.
nuts.
So
It's crazy.
but it was nuts, man. But it started with like the whole setup. I tell everyone like you got ESPN, Madison Square Garden, Big East tournament, which is the Big East tournament was the greatest tournament of all
huge.
time.
Yeah,
I don't care. It was locked. You were locked in on that. You didn't worry about who's playing the Pac-12 or all the other Big East was it.
Yeah.
New York City, that whole
The
week
Mecca.
was locked in.
Yeah. Especially at that time. I mean, that was like the SEC of football back in the day.
No question. Just
It wasn't
the
even
Big East
close.
was it. Like even like besides that tournament, there was a Big East game on ESPN every week.
Yep.
Big Monday, probably Big East. Super
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, probably Big East.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's just how it was at that time. But then you had go to like the rivalries, like you had Boeheim and Calhoun. And just it started right there with that tension. They didn't like each other.
No.
For real. They really don't like each other.
Right.
And that's just real, And then go down through the players, myself, Johnny Flynn, Andy Routins, AO,
Good
Thabit,
team.
Dyson,
Jeez
AJ Price.
Louise, dude.
On the other side, Jeff Adrian. Like, so it was just like the matchups, the coaches, UConn, Syracuse. Syracuse is always going to come to the Garden. That's our home court.
Yep.
UConn's 45 minutes away.
Yeah,
though.
I was gonna say.
So they're coming in. They're coming in heavy too.
Right.
And then they were number 4 at the time.
Yep.
And we were 22, I think. So that was kind of an upset.
It was
but it was
oh,
never when we got together. Throw all that out the window.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It didn't
So
matter the records.
It didn't. But it was like that from the start. It was just like like guys were like throwing like haymakers, from the get. You know what I mean? And it was no one wanted to quit. They were gonna. So that's the whole feel from the jump. And then obviously you get into that to the end of regulation where the shot didn't count. Mm-hmm. People will always say, "Hey, are you glad that it didn't count? Will you wish it count?" No, because we wouldn't even be talking about it. It would have been a regular.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have been an
Regular
instant
game.
classic. It would have been a regular game-winning shot.
And that's kind of like my biggest thing, at least from like an outsider's perspective. I mean, obviously you get it all the time living in Syracuse, but like, what does it feel like that not only was that like probably the biggest college basketball game in Syracuse history, or most recognizable, most known,
Yeah.
but possibly you could argue in college basketball history.
I like to think that.
I'm trying to think of like other games. Maybe when Houston basketball, they upset national championship back in '85. Outside of that, though, like I can't think of it. Kemba Walker with the step back. I don't know, but even that, it's like it's one play. This was the entire game.
6 overtimes.
You know what I mean? I'm 6 overtimes.
Yeah, well, and people will say it's the second greatest in Cuse history because obviously national championship.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, you gotta count. I mean,
that's
I
fair.
get that, but as far as like
That's fair.
Game
Historical game wise,
I mean, you probably haven't seen anything like it.
No.
You know what I mean? We're still talking about it, it's 16
Right.
years later. You know what I mean?
crazy.
So, and then people ask me all the time about it. And it's talked about whenever you bring tournament time up, it's always in conversation.
Always.
And it's always thrown on the little clips when they start the
Yeah.
Big East
And
tournament.
think about who did the game.
Always.
right.
Billis,
Yep.
Jay Billis, Bill Raftery,
Yep.
Sean McDonough. 3 of like the all-timers.
Yep.
So like everyone involved, it was like high level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From the programs to the venue to the announcers to the crowds, right? Everything. So it was like one of those games where it was like a magical moment.
That's
you know what I
awesome.
mean? Everything kind of came together.
Yeah, that's crazy. And here's the thing for me too, because correct me if I'm wrong, but the 6 overtime game was the scoreboard game where you jumped on the scoreboard.
It was.
Yeah.
That what I
Wasn't playing, dude.
What I like to tell people too is, Kobe did that, Dwayne Wade did that, but I don't remember those ones.
Nope.
I remember when
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I did it before.
I know you did.
It's funny because when D Wade did it, I social media is crazy, but
Yeah.
I remember seeing stuff. They're like, D Wade just did the Devendorf. I'm like, yeah, what
like,
you
damn
mean,
right he
D-Wade?
did.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean how cool is that, man? To even put them in line with those, with
Right.
those type of names, like people will remember that forever.
Right,
And
of course,
it's
for
just it was honestly they have like a shrine in Madison Square Garden for that game, and it has its own little area. So that was an iconic moment. I think for college basketball, for Syracuse, for the Big East, and for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to dive into, as we get near wrapping up, but I want to talk about kind of a little bit of Syracuse basketball history as a whole and ask you, what is the best team, not counting any of your teams, because I'm sure you'll say that never did it? That never, obviously there's so many since there's only one championship, but what's the best team that never did it?
Probably, I would have to say the 2009-2010 team. That
The year after.
Yeah, so they lost to Lemoyne and they won like 30 straight.
Yep.
I think they were 34-2.
Was that who was they had a set? I don't know. Maybe it was a little after.
Renzo, he got hurt.
It was a really
was
good
his
team. I think
last
they went
name?
30 and-
Anawaku.
Hadawaku.
I think they went 30-5 that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yes.
I can tell you exactly.
Yep.
30-5.
That's when they had Wes, right?
Yeah.
Wes
Yep.
Johnson.
Wesley
Yes,
Johnson's
Wesley
a player
Johnson.
that I don't think is brought up enough. In
I haven't heard
Syracuse
that
He was
name.
All-American.
conversations.
I haven't heard that name.
Well, because he only did
10
one
years.
year.
Yeah, but he
That's
played
crazy.
a while in the NBA too.
Yeah.
A decent amount. He wasn't the star player, but he
Right.
was good.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, unanimous, All-American. He's one of the, you could probably count him on your hand, unanimous.
Right.
Yeah, that came out of Syracuse.
Yep.
Hakeem, Melo, obviously those guys, Billy Owens. But that team probably, because you just got to look at how they were playing. And then AO got hurt, and I want to say it's in the Big East tournament. And then they got all the way to, I want to say, Butler. Is that where they lost to Butler? Maybe.
Yeah, with
been.
With
That-
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
young
they
Gordon.
ended up losing to Duke in
Yep.
John Shire. That
Yeah.
was John Shire. They won it that year.
Last
So
second, yep.
they would have won. Okay,
That's crazy.
Because Rick came in and Rick had a great year, but it was just different because Rick, he was like kind of a spark coming off, or like he was at the forward position, I believe. Sometimes AO was at the 5, and AO was having a great year that year. So it just changed the whole dynamic.
So one team I think of, and I think this team, when you look back, unbelievable roster. And honestly, anything before like 2005, I couldn't tell you. I know there were great teams back in
for
the day.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Pearl, like you name it.
Before-
You
that was
name it.
before me,
right, yeah.
But 2011, 2012, let me read you the roster. Chris Joseph, Dion Waiters, Scoop Jardine, CJ Fair, James Sutherland, Fab Mello, Rakeem Christmas, Baimu Sakita,
Christmas.
Michael Carter-Williams, Mookie Jones.
My guy Mook.
That team, unbelievable.
That was
a
the
good
year
team.
Fab got suspended.
Yep.
So there you go.
played a big
Like,
factor.
AO gets hurt, and then both big
yep,
men,
both
right?
big
men
And
down.
Fab was probably
Yep.
one of the top 5 in block shots in the country.
Unbelievable.
Ended up still getting drafted
Yep.
first round
That
by the
team is
Celtics.
hard to
That's
stop.
so crazy.
34-3.
Yep.
Yeah, they lost to Marquette, or was it Ohio
It
State?
was Ohio State.
Jared
He
Sullinger.
was 77, 71, yeah.
Yep, Jared Sullinger. I remember, and if they would have had Fab, it would have been a totally different game.
Totally
he was
different
just everything on the defensive side. He was.
Yep. I think the Tyler Ennis year too. That team
Tyler
was
Ennis,
good.
yeah.
And
They
they
were
lose
just
and
missing
losing
that
to
big
Dayton the
gap.
first
Yeah,
game.
Dayton.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, they were 25-0.
Yep.
They lost to Boston College.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
But that team that you
forgot
named right
about
there,
him,
that
too.
was a talented team.
Yep.
D. Waiter's coming off the bench.
yeah. That
Right?
was when he won 6
Or was he a freshman that year? Or was he a sophomore?
I think so, because then he got drafted that year. What, number 3
Because
overall?
the year before, Chris Joe was coming off the bench.
Deion, that was his second year. So yeah, it was
Sophomore
his
year.
second year.
Okay, sophomore year. Okay.
The year before was even insane.
I want to
too.
say he still came
Right.
off the bench maybe
He
his
did.
sophomore year.
He did, because he was
Coming off the bench with the 4th pick.
I think he
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think there was some type of like record or milestone he set because he was like the only person like taking the top 5 to
he
not
was
start.
He was unbelievable. Well, he had the whole mindset. You talk about being a dog.
Mm-hmm.
That was him.
Being in college, what was the best team you ever played against? Would you say?
The best team I played against in college.
Is
Those
there like,
UConn teams were unbelievable.
they were nasty.
I mean, so
it's hard not to.
my sophomore year, they came to the Dome. They had like 7 NBA guys.
Yep.
Rudy Gay, Marcus Williams, Hilton Armstrong, Josh Boone, Denham Brown, Rashad Anderson. All those guys got drafted, and then you had like some younger guys, freshmen
coming up.
who were
Yeah.
coming in, but those, 7 guys right there, they played the whole game anyway. It
That's so
wasn't,
crazy. That's nuts.
I mean, some of those UConn teams were unbelievable. Not only talented, but they were huge.
Yeah, just big
Yeah,
dudes.
yeah,
Yep.
and back then you didn't see like it was just different back then. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to date myself too much, but I mean basketball it's evolved, right?
right.
But they had a huge team, and then Rudy Gay was super athletic. Marcus Williams was
Yep.
one of the best point guards in the country.
Yep.
He was just setting guys up.
Yeah.
Rashad Anderson, Denham Brown, kind of like glue guys and shooters. But those UConn teams, Pittsburgh too. Pittsburgh, like
Oh,
with Jamie Dixon, they were
Yep.
always tough to play against. DeJuan Blair, Sam Young. I mean, I go back to like Aaron Gray, big Aaron Gray, who played for the Bulls for a while. They always had like gritty teams, But those UConn, those Pittsburgh teams, Villanova. I know I'm going off now, but
and
Randy Foy.
I mean, this exactly what you were
Alan
saying
Ray,
earlier,
yeah.
though. It shows you how good the American East was. It was nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just crazy. That conference was just
Yep. it's good.
crazy.
I want to build off the Deion Waiters conversation too, because especially nowadays, but even I feel like in the early 2010s, like players maybe played 2 years and then went to the NBA.
Yep.
Is there anybody you can kind of think of that went to Syracuse where they had a quick stint and then tried to go to the NBA, where if they would have stayed all 4 years, they could have cemented themselves with a unbelievable legacy at Syracuse?
Yeah.
Is there any player you just wish stayed longer?
myself. I would have loved to be like just from I guess a me standpoint right now, and it's a team sport. Don't get me wrong, but now we're talking like that. It would have been awesome to be like the all-time leading scorer.
Right,
You know what I mean? Look at hey, going to like whatever you're trying to do. You go, hey, by the way, I am the all-time leading. You know what I'm
Who's
saying?
that guy number one on
Right.
that list? Oh, that's me.
I mean, it's just all the
No,
people that
it's-
came through.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
That'd been unbelievable. But I think honestly, you even got guys like Paul Harris. Maybe he would have stayed another year. Me and him were kind of in the same boat. Wes, if he had another year, you know what I mean? Like that's we're going back to when you transfer, you got to sit out.
Yeah.
Because he was there my last year, he was just practicing with us. He couldn't play. Think about if he could have played
That's crazy.
on that team. We lost to Blake Griffin in the Sweet 16. We would have won. You had another guy like that.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin was a different guy. He's hitting his head on the backboard. and
Right,
shit.
dude. Crazy.
But yeah, I know there's probably some guys I'm missing.
One player that I wish stayed because I would have loved to see him healthy because he played 1 year at Syracuse, but I don't even know if he totaled
already know
10
who you're talking
games,
about.
was Chris McCullough.
100%. That's my guy.
I wish.
And you know what? I was back finishing up my degree when he was playing, and we kind of clicked, and we were helping each other out, and I was just kind of helping him through the ACL injury because I had one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as talent goes, I mean, he had it all. 6'10", athletic, could move, run the floor, shoot the ball. And he's still playing. He's over in Taiwan, killing it.
That's awesome.
He's
That's awesome.
He was
Good.
in the Philippines. We were together this summer in the Boeheim's Army.
Oh,
Yep,
nice.
yeah.
Did TBT. that was a fun run.
That's what I wanted to bring, that's what I wanted to bring up next.
me
was,
too.
we won one
TBT.
together, me and Chris.
That's sick.
Yeah, 2021.
Yep.
So I did that for 7 years.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how great is that to have something like that where you can still
just relive it,
just
and
play.
Go back and just play again,
and
competitively too.
Yeah, or highly competitive.
Yeah,
I mean, that
TBT's awesome.
It's awesome. You know, these guys are former pros or guys who are still playing pro. You know, but yeah, I did it for 7 years, and I was one of the top scorers in all time in that. And but it just, I mean, Cuse does it right when they do it. You know, all the fans treat it like you're in the dome,
especially when it's at OCC.
Yeah, OCC.
Oh, you got all the fans right there.
But then we had it in Brooklyn and Illinois. They were showing out. You know, awesome. we went to, it was Dayton where we won it at. It was all orange. Nice. You know, so it just goes to show you what type of culture like Boeheim really built.
For sure.
You know, it's like it's built
Everybody
on family.
comes back.
No question.
Oh my God,
which is awesome.
100%.
Yep.
It's like what's so cool is you always make these like lineups, and you see on like Instagram, if you could put these players together.
Yeah,
that's
Barstool, Cuse, and all that. Yeah,
that's Boeheim's army.
No doubt.
Because you get to see all these different players. I don't even know who played that year, but like if you could put like you with like, geez, I don't even know, like a Tyus Battle.
Yeah,
like somebody like that, or Griffin. I don't even know. Like, there's just so many different people I'd love to see together.
Yeah, no question. And it's tough because everybody's schedules in the summer are different.
You're right.
They're still trying to pursue NBA opportunity, whatever it is. So it could be tough. So you can't really get maybe everyone you would want to. But I mean, what an amazing product they put out there, the TBT, and I had a blast for 7 years playing, and that was kind of my fix, right? Because I was coaching, and then. Funny because all those guys were still playing pro, throughout the whole year, and I was like, all right, let me get these 2 months to go ahead and, you know what I mean. But for me, it was I still had that competitive edge.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what kind of continued. It let me continue to go out there and compete.
Yeah.
Well, on that topic, like, you did get to play professional overseas for what, 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years. Yeah.
How was that experience?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you travel the world, you get paid to play ball.
Right.
I mean, experience the culture, and I was in. New Zealand, Australia, Israel, Greece, Lithuania.
That's so cool.
Ukraine.
That's so
sick.
Yeah,
I mean, besides playing ball, you get to travel the world and experience different stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like a mind opener.
Did you bring the family with you when you'd go, or would they?
So I did in the beginning when my girls were young, but then as they got into the school age,
it's tougher.
It was tougher. Sure. But they got to go to New Zealand and Australia.
That's so cool.
I lived in Melbourne for 8 months. Which is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Oh, I bet.
New Zealand too. I actually visited and did a camp back there a few years ago.
That's awesome.
So besides that, the connections that you make and able to go back over there and do things
for sure,
pretty cool.
Awesome.
I do have a question because as a Syracuse fan, we see it different, but and I know NBA fans see this different. I don't want to ask this, but basically, I want to jump into Johnny Flynn real quick as we kind of wrap things up. And to a lot of NBA fans, he's always known as the guy taken before Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Right.
But talk to me quickly how good Johnny Flynn was.
Man.
And college and when he transitioned to the NBA.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, one of the best point guards to ever come through Syracuse.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
100%.
I mean, talent-wise, IQ-wise, he could do it all. Shoot the ball. He's athletic. A great decision maker, fast, quick, strong.
Yeah.
Could guard. He'd press up in ball pressure. He had it all. And then on top of all that, he was one of the most competitive players on the court every single time. He was a dog. And every single practice we were going at each other. He was just a different animal. His mindset was like he was locked in. And when he was on the court, that was it. That's all that mattered. He was trying to steal your food. You know what I mean? If that's so to speak, right?
Right.
Like that's how he went about his business. And then he got hurt. You know what I mean? He had the Bo Jackson injury. Mm-hmm. So he, basically where it's bone on bone, that
just
hip
doesn't.
bone.
Yeah.
So
sucks.
before he got to the NBA, he was dealing with that stuff.
Right.
So now, some of his biggest strengths were speed.
Right.
You take that away, you're taking away a lot. You know what I mean? So he wasn't able to get by like he was. He was as dynamic like he was, as explosive, and those were a lot of the things that made him a great player.
Yeah.
But I think even his rookie year, he was all rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He averaged 14. I remember he had like 28 on Darren Williams, and Darren Williams prime, Utah Jazz, giving him work.
Right.
So like people who say stuff about Johnny, like, hold on, man, I've seen it.
Yeah, he was a
firsthand every day. Like this dude was one of the greats.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason he was taken that high.
It was just so happens that man, in sports things happen. You get hurt, and then he was trying to work his way back, and it wasn't the same. I know he went to Australia and Italy for a little bit, And now, I haven't heard from him in years. But, man, yeah, anyone who has something to say about that, like, man, pump your
Go
brakes,
watch the
dude.
film.
Pump your brakes, dude. I had a firsthand experience, like up close and personal.
He was nasty.
It was we had one of the best backcourts in the country.
Yep.
Say what you want. Like I was ready. We were ready for anybody.
Right.
You know, whoever you wanted to put out
Yeah.
there, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we were feeling. But
So
yeah, man, he was unbelievable.
Good. One final question. Why 23 at Syracuse? Because like 23 is
That's true.
a good number.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
why 23?
You know what? I don't really know why. And, you know, it was just I think Mike was my favorite player of all time. In high school, it was
fair.
44.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know why it was 44.
Well, that's
It
a
was
good
just like-
transition to Syracuse,
Yeah.
44.
Right, exactly. It's funny how it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all connected somehow. But man, whatever number I had, I was gonna make that number famous.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how I kind of approached it, right? So I went when I went to Oak Hill from public school in Michigan, it was 23. So I just stuck with that, and then I liked it because obviously MJ,
Right.
and then that stuck with me all the way through.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate having you on.
I appreciate you guys,
Eric
man.
Devendorf. Hopefully Syracuse has a great season. Good
Oh,
luck with
I hope so, yeah.
everything,
Appreciate you.
color commentating, everything you have coming up. We appreciate you coming on.
One last thing, I just wanted to get this in here. Growing up, okay, it's middle school.
Oh yeah, you had a story.
I do.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
forgot.
quick story.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna voice a girl that I went to middle school with.
Okay.
She was real quiet. She had the same last name as you, and
Really?
it was so.
It's not a common last
and I was
name.
like, "Is Eric like your cousin or uncle?" And she was like, "Who?" She didn't watch sports.
Yeah.
No idea. But everybody would ask her in school if she was related to Eric Devendorf.
Really, she has to be.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
That's a rare
how many
last
people
name.
out
You
there
know,
have that same last name?
None.
Isn't that crazy?
It's actually a street name, Devendorf, in Albany. I'm like,
Really?
whoa, yeah. My boy is connected. He sent it to me. I'm
All
like,
right.
this is cool.
Maybe it's more popular than you think. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I just got more cousins than I
Right,
know.
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes,
Appreciate,
I appreciate
you
you
stopping
guys.
by. We
Had
the
a
hobby
blast, man.
and the hobby never sleeps. Make sure to follow us on all podcast streaming platforms: Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and appreciate everybody tuning in. And we'll see you next time. We move.
We move.